Welcome, Spartans, to Halo Headlines for the week of December 13th to December 20th, part of Podcast Evolved, your home for Halo. I'm your host, Oren, and with me today is David.
Happy Christmas, everybody!
Happy
Woo,
Christmas! What is yes, it is around the corner. We are playing Halo Infinite, and we have there's so much news that we decided to do a quick little Halo Headlines before the new year. So this will be our last Halo Headlines, and we're going to continue our Infinite Impressions series, and then we'll jump back into Halo Headlines come January 2022. But before we get started, I would like to give a quick shout out to all of our patrons for their continued support to make this show possible. Thank you guys so much. I also want to give a shout out to all of our new patrons that have joined in the last few weeks. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
If you are not a patron, you can head over to patreon.com/Halo Podcast Evolve to learn more about our exclusive rewards that we offer our patrons. We also wanted to... Oh, I already settled that, so we don't need to say that. Great. So,
Nice.
what happened last week, David?
Well, some stuffs. Oren, would you believe there is some Halo stuff last week?
There was.
Like the freaking game.
Yes, the campaign is here. If you haven't played the campaign, you should download it right now and go play it. It's free with Game Pass. It's $60 otherwise. It's amazing. 343 had a launch day blog where they had some words of hope and thanks from Bonnie Ross and Joseph Staten. They also provided a little bit of a campaign preview that talks about the golden path of the campaign, forward operating bases, high-value targets, base assaults, and more that's in the game.
Didn't read any of this. Interesting.
I mean, it kind of just sells you the game. If you're already deep into it, then you already know a lot of this. And if you haven't started any of this and you want to go in blind, you don't really want to read any of this. But it's nothing too spoilery. It just kind of talks about the general objectives and features that are in the game that you learn naturally while playing the game by like the third or fourth mission. So cool. Do with what you want with that. But they also announced that the Halo Infinite soundtrack is available for purchase.
Incredible.
There's also
I'll be getting it.
Are you getting it? You are?
Oh, hell yeah. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
I purchased the vinyl of Halo 5 when that soundtrack came out. So maybe I should get the vinyl for Infinite because it's beautiful. I think I may we'll see how it is, but I think the soundtrack might be the only 10 out of 10 aspect I would give Halo Infinite.
Might agree.
You know, like
sentiment.
I'd have to really think about it, but my gut off the cuff is saying that like if there's anything that is truly perfect, it is the soundtrack.
100% agree with you there.
Everything else is either very, very good, mostly good, or, you know, maybe there's a few crap things in there, but we'll get to that later. Let's see. There is a new Halo podcast. What? There is a limited original Spotify podcast called Halo Infinite Memory Agent. The synopsis of this is a lone secret agent from the Office of Naval Intelligence is sent on a mission. Let me start this over. The synopsis is a lone secret agent from the Office of Naval Intelligence is sent on a mission to relay critical intel on the Master Chief. There is just one catch. Every 7 hours, her memory resets. Now she must make a perilous journey through closely monitored space, desperate to learn whatever she can about her own past, as well as that of the Master Chief. Through the help of an AI companion and battlefield reports of others who have encountered the legendary hero, she pieces together just how important her task may be.
What the hell?
Yeah. Did you not know about this?
No. Is this like an audio drama? Is this like
it's like an audio drama?
Oh my god!
You know that audio drama that came out a couple weeks ago called Halo Survival?
No, never heard of it. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom. So it's kind of like that, and it's kind of like Hunt the Truth, more like a season 2 of Hunt the Truth.
Oh my god!
And I haven't listened to it personally because I've been too busy either listening to our own podcast content or playing the Halo Infinite campaign or multiplayer.
Yeah. This is my fault now because I went so dark on Halo stuff. But where did they announce this? I have heard nothing.
They announced this like part of the launch. Like it was available like on launch day.
Weird.
So it's it's about, I think it's 6 episodes. They're about 10 minutes each. So it's a pretty easy read. Matt, shout out to Matt from our group. He listened to it and enjoyed it. So, excuse me. So I recommend everyone else go check it out. We will more than likely cover the contents of Memory Agent in the new year as a Infinite Impressions episode. We might do a book club. We might not. We haven't really talked about it yet within the group, but I feel like it would fit better as an Infinite Impressions topic as opposed to a book club topic. But it's kind of just semantics on our back end part of it, and you don't need to know all about that. And then finally, this blog, the Launch Day blog, talks about the PC specs. There's a little bit of multiplayer, a little bit of the Academy, some of the Game Pass perks you can get with Halo Infinite and Game Pass, as well as press kit for fancy and beautiful photos. So you can check all that out on Halo Waypoint. All right, then we have probably the saddest cannon fodder we've ever had. Have you read this? Have you read this one, David?
No.
All right, well, I'll save it. I'll save it till the very end. But this one is Cannon Fodder, episode 122, Legendary Endings, and it, of course, is penned by fan of the show, Jeff Grimbrother1 Easterling. He kind of recaps a lot of the marketing material for Halo Infinite. So we get the Forever We Fight live-action trailer. We get the Carry On live-action trailer. We get the live-action UNSC archive videos, Unspoken, Project Magus, and Lightbringers. He also talks about Halo Infinite Memory Agent, the Spotify original podcast we just spoke about ourselves. And he further goes and says that it takes place just before the events of the novel Halo Shadows of Reach. So for us lore enthusiasts out there, that's where it takes place. And then Halo Shadows of Reach starts. Then he talks about the Infinite audio logs. There's all the intel that we get over there, and that how it's separated into kind of 4 categories. David, have you listened to all of them, or have you just collected all of them?
I've listened to all of them. Now, I listened to all of them all over the place, so I need to listen to them again in order, in sequence. I will say they did a cool thing in the game where like you unlock the ones always in sequence no matter where you find them. So like they have a set location, but it might not be number 1 you pick up in that location. It could be number 6 if you picked up the other 5. So like that's kind of cool. So like I've got all the stories.
You're always listening to the story in order.
Yes, which is a good way to do it. But like there was a long period of time between me picking up my first one and my last one. So like I have listened to them all. Some of them are very good. They tell you a lot of stuff that you miss. That is otherwise missing in the story.
So Jeff gives us a little bit of context for what each of these audio log stories tell. So we have the UNSC recovered files, which is about Dr. Halsey's intentions behind the weapon's creation. We have the UNSC Infinity's approach, which is Captain Lasky and the harrowing plight of the UNSC Infinity. Next is the UNSC The Prisoner, which is the UNSC combat medic taken hostage by the Banished to aid in the Harbinger's release, which I think is something that you were talking a little bit about in our next episode of Infinite Impressions, right? Was that what you were referring to?
No, we didn't talk about this guy. These are cool logs, to be honest, because doesn't really matter, but like that's a cool one. Go for it.
Okay. We have the UNSC Outpost Intel, which is scattered UNSC forces trying to survive and fight back against the Banished. Then our Banished logs, we have Escherum's Testimony, which is just insight into the mind of Escherum. We have the Archaeological Findings, which is records from Despondent Pyre.
They're great.
And we have Banished Outpost Intel, which is just general Banished operational insight.
They're pretty poor.
Pretty what?
Poor. Like, they're not interesting. They're just like Banished giving out to each other about different things. They don't. Yeah, whatever. I know they're world building and they're whatever. They're probably relevant, but like I don't know. They're not as cool.
They're not as interesting as some of the other stories.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
Okay. Then we have Spartan logs, and there are 39 Spartan logs divided into 5 chapters and tell the tales of Spartans escaping Infinity, making Ringfall, and organizing a counter-offensive. And he did give us a slight wink about possible connections to a contingency called the Rubicon Protocol that also takes into effect during the novel by Kelly Gay by the same name, which will be releasing at the end of June 28th of next year.
Okay, that did ring a bell to me, and that is very interesting to talk about, because the Spartans that you're picking equipment up off in the game that Chief has a big moment with, they don't go into details a whole lot about, like, why would he give a shit about them. And Rubicon in the audio logs, minor spoilers, is talked about, and like those Spartan audio logs are some of the best ones, because it's the backstory to these characters that you're meeting their corpses of and taking equipment from. So like it tells you their story of their fight and the things that they did and their interactions with each other, and they're some of the most interesting stuff. And now I wonder, is that what Kelly Gay's novel is about, and a reason why it was delayed till after the game comes out, which all makes a hell of a lot of sense. Very interesting. So if that's what the book is about, that's cool, because that's filling in a lot of that backstory.
It sounds like, I mean, very cool. Yeah, without listening to the audio logs myself, I feel like there's some easy overlap over here, because we know that Kelly's novel is just about some Spartan efforts against the Banished while the Banished invade the ring. So
did we know that? Oh, I did not know that.
I thought we knew that. Yeah, to some degree.
Cool. Right,
I'd have to go and look up the synopsis after.
That might just mean not paying it. That's perfect, though. That's perfect, because that's some of the problems I have with the story in the game. That the missing pieces. So if Kelly Gay's book does that, that's brilliant. And like, yeah, some of them just talk about like, Protocol, Rubicon, and that's
I don't know if not get into it too much, but I don't think the Rubicon Protocol novel will give you everything you want based off of prior conversations about some of the holes. So, but anyway,
the audio talk about like Operation Rubicon Protocol.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We'll get to all that. All right, getting back to it. So then we have finally the Forerunner archives, which are additional audio logs by Despondent Pyre, the monitor.
Do you know what that physical? Remember we were speaking with Josh.
Yes, so I found 2 of them, and they are quite amazing. And I don't want to say it in case a listener hasn't discovered them themselves, but the way that the Forerunner Archive audio logs are integrated into the campaign to be found are truly wonderful, because it's very much a moment of like, what is this? And then you go up and investigate, and you learn what it is. So it's great. It's amazing. It's so well done.
Yeah.
Right. So then, okay. All the audio logs, David and I and whomever else are going to have a much deeper conversation about all the audio logs in full on a future episode of Infinite Impressions. Let's see. Then Jeff gives us some map lore on Livefire, Deadlock, High Power, Launch Site, Recharge, Bazaar, and Streets, which isn't all of the maps, but there's a lot of them there. And this lore will help me and the HCS Pro Talk guys, shout out to Will and Josh, for our Map Legends series, which will be returning in the new year with Series 2, all about the Halo Infinite multiplayer maps. So we will get to that later on. Let's see. The Halo Encyclopedia will release on March 30th, 2022. And the deluxe edition was announced in this blog, which includes a Forerunner Silex clip case for the encyclopedia to be housed in, which is pretty cool. I might get that. I might just get the regular one. I'm not sure. And then lastly, the reason this is a sad cannon fodder is that Jeff announced, and this is news to me, but apparently this wasn't news to the internet, but it might be news to a lot of people, is that this is the last cannon fodder authored by Jeff. Jeff will be moving on within 343 to be more franchise writer responsibilities, And community member of the Halo community, Alex Herespis Wakeford, will carry on the torch of being, I guess, a junior community manager or community person at 343, and he will be writing the future cannon fodders for 343. So big shout out to Herespis. Congratulations. And everyone can check out his blog, which will just basically be on indefinite hiatus in terms of whether it gets updated or not, because now he's part of 343. But you can go to his blog at herespis.blog.
Wow, that's
and
crazy.
If you remember, he also did a huge series. It took him ages to put together, but it talks about the kind of full timeline of Halo. That leads up to Halo Infinite, and it's kind of like the story so far that he was planning, that he put together. And so very happy for him, and good for him to, that's everyone's dream who does these community things, right? It's like for one day to just get hired by 343 and to do more of this kind of stuff for a living. So
that's incredible.
So anyway,
incredible.
Congratulations to him. Yeah, it's nuts. So I like I said, I didn't know about it, but apparently it was announced like a week or two before Infinite came out on Twitter. But yeah, great news for him. Then lastly, what we'll just briefly touch on is there was an article on the Halo Infinite playlist and challenge updates. I just wanted to say that there are more playlists added to Halo Infinite if you haven't played the multiplayer recently. So they've added Team Slayer, Free For All, Tactical Slayer, which is just basically a form of SWAT, and Fiesta. So those 4 modes join the previous 4 modes: Bot Slayer, Quick Play, Ranked Arena, and Big Team Battle. So going into the holidays, you have 8 playlists to choose from. They also changed a little bit of the challenges. They removed like a lot of mode-specific and activity-specific challenges, and they added more things that are based around the playlist. So like, play this playlist to earn challenges for whatever, instead of waiting for a game type within a playlist. So hopefully that helps things out. They've also made some tweaks to the Fractures Tenrai event structure, which will return on January 4th. And there is also another event happening on December 21st through January 4th called the Winter Contingency, where if you play one game each day, you will unlock free rewards. These include armor pieces, armor attachments, holiday-themed coatings for your Spartans, for your weapons, along with free nameplates, emblems, and special backdrops. So I just wanted to put that out there for anyone listening. Cool. Definitely play Halo over the holiday. You'll earn some pretty cool rewards. And lastly, I promise, the HCS Raleigh event kicked off this past weekend, and you can check out the recap to everything that happened over at our partner show, HCS Pro Talk, with Will and Josh on their next episode, which will be episode 214. They'll record that on probably Monday the 20th, maybe the 21st. I'm not really sure what their schedule's like. But if you want an update on the first HCS Halo Infinite event, that's where you can get all your information. And that's it, David.
That's it, buddy. A lot of news.
So we'll talk more news, more Halo Infinite, more Infinite impressions in the coming weeks and into the new year. So definitely stick around. If you're new to the show, welcome, buckle in. We hope that Halo Infinite and that game brought you to us, and we're excited to experience this game and learn about Zeta Halo's secrets and the future of this franchise together. Thank you all for listening. Join us next week for more Podcast Evolve content. If you enjoyed listening to the show, you can check out our website, halopodcast.com, and you can check out our other shows, Podcast Evolved, Mission Debrief, Halo Book Club, Built with Blocks. Also check out, like I said, our partners, Will and Josh, over at HGS Pro Talk. And another shout out to our patrons. Thank you guys so much. Head over to patreons.com/HaloPodcastEvolve to learn more. And with that, I've been your host, Oren. And until 2022, evolved!
Woo! Evolved!